welcome back to Leafy Life. I'm Susie, and this channel is my space to talk about the ups and downs of sharing my home with houseplants. In this house, I am tending to leafy life, reaching green and bending toward the light. Leafy life, this is my leafy life. So yesterday I had the chance to explore a garden centre I had never been to before. It's called Combe Garden Centre near Honiton in Devon, and I visited as a little holiday excursion with a friend, and it was just really lovely. So I'm going to show you around as I explored, and yeah, let's see what we can find there. This wall of ferns was artificial but very beautiful. It made a great impact when I first walked in. I have deleted most of the audio content from these clips because the really gorgeous cafe was right next to the houseplant area, and so there was a fairly constant background noise, which, although in person was really not a big deal, it picked up ridiculously noisily on the video clips and was really not very relaxing for you guys. So yeah, I've cleared that out of the way so that I can talk about it from home and explain what I saw as we go along. Very pleasingly, there was a lovely selection of carnivorous plants, and I was thrilled to see these in person. I've been really wanting to own some of these, and these were just gorgeous. They were in lovely condition. They were a fairly small size, making them very affordable, and yeah, really nice to see them. I would say there was a really good selection generally. There was lots to look around at and take in, and I think really something for everyone. There were sort of more typical tropical plants, there were lots of succulents, and yeah, just a really good mixture of sort of sizes of plants, so something for most budgets. I met up with my very dear friend Rosanna here, and it was just really lovely to explore together in a leisurely fashion. We have enjoyed many wonderful play dates with our kids over the years, but this was a chance for us to enjoy some quality time together in a really relaxed manner and just soak up the planty goodness around us. It was fun to see such a crazy selection of caladiums. They were just all really red tinted and splashed and striped and veiny. Yeah, I haven't seen many in person before, so that was nice to admire those. And I love this forest of alocasia stems. They're just beautiful. Rosanna fell in love with these very striking dracaenas. And I fell in love with this really beautiful alocasia branchifolia pink passion. Very tempting, but I don't really have somewhere to put it. Look at that glossy new foliage. I really love the shape of these leaves. A lovely big tray of air plants, some nice variety in there. And how cute are these guys with their spiky hair? Adorable. Look at the size of this Diefenbachia white Amazon. It is gorgeous. Love it. Love it, love it. There's Rosanna for scale. Absolutely gorgeous. It's the size of the leaves. Wow. They're so beautiful. Just love the colours and the patterns. Such a beautifully unfurling leaf. It's so handy and helpful having these little signs in amongst the plants so that you know how to look after the plant you're buying. You can just take a quick snap and take that home with you. Some good little baby plants, all very adorable. And then some lovely mature calathea. This rosy one is Picturata crimson, and the contrast next to this really green one is just gorgeous. They look so good together. This one is Pinstripe, which is totally my cup of tea. I love the bright limey green with the dark green veins. The pattern's just really striking, and I love the shape. But I don't really need to take home a big plant today. I don't really have the room on a surface or a floor because they'll probably get banged by small legs running around. Here's a Hoya carnosa tricolour, beautiful and trailing, looking so healthy. And an Anthurium champion. Those veins are just so striking. I don't yet have any Anthuriums, but one day. It's always rather a treat to come across different types of aglaonema out and about. I have a couple at home that I love and lots on my wish list, and I just appreciate all aglaonema. They're just my cup of tea. This one is Prestige. I love the pale pink, and the leaf shape is so elegant how it widens out and comes to a real point at the tip. And this one is Chinese Evergreen. Really beautiful colours and veination, and the white stems are amazing. I love the long leaf shape as well. This is a Ficus Adora, beautiful tree. I love this type of leaf shape on Ficus. I really like Ficus with the kind of daintier leaves. A selection of philodendron. We have Red Sun on the left. Looks like Birkin has sold out actually. They are amazing, so look them up. And philodendron Moonlight here on the right. Very vibrant and gorgeous. How cool are these long tillandsia? We had fun imagining that they were the beards of little gnomes and thought it would be fun to draw faces on the little pots and add googly eyes and things. My son would be very impressed by these. Very dumpy, cute terrariums. Nice to see one with a peperomia in it, just as a change from Photonia, which are also lovely. But yeah, this peperomia looks really, really great in there. This is Aescananthus Mona Lisa, a beautiful dangling one with little purply buds, which were really fuzzy. And the new leaves were so dark and again really hairy and fuzzy. We finished browsing, then went to pay for our planty goodies, and then went for some sustenance in the really gorgeous cafe. Rejuvenated by tea and cake and a nice sit down, we browsed the rather gorgeous gift shop and ogled at lots of lovely things. Wow, that is so sparkly. That's so bobbly. They stocked some exquisite jewellery, although I just slightly preferred the packaging. I was imagining lots of tiny terrariums. Rosanna then needed to head home, so I lingered by myself for a while outside. This extension of the cafe area was delightfully deserted because a few minutes previously the weather had just been really gusty and grey and wet and cold, but the sun came out soon afterwards and I just enjoyed exploring around these paths, admiring the flowers in the raised beds. This was the middle of September and there were so many bees buzzing around in and out of the flowers and loads of butterflies as well, and it was just a beautiful day. If you fancy a bit of a relaxation, then just follow me around this path and I will show you the water feature. And I stayed there for a long time just watching the water drip and trickle and yeah, the light through the water. It was a real treat for me. Or you can skip ahead a few minutes and get straight to the plants that I brought home. It was hard to pull myself away. I just love the sound of running water. So I hope you enjoyed exploring Combe Garden Centre with me, and I hope if you get the chance you will go and have a visit too. It's brilliant. I loved being there. The cafe was wonderful, the choice of houseplants was amazing, and the staff were all really lovely. It was just really like a really quality venue in every way, and yeah, I just came away feeling like it was a really good discovery. And so now I'm going to show you the plants that I chose. I did come away with a lovely bag of goodies. Even the bag is pretty excellent really, because it's not tall and thin, it's kind of like it's more horizontally shaped. So it gives a lot more space for plants to be flat and not to get squashed. So I'm going to unpack for you. Okay, first up, I did buy a couple of little pots because this size is always really useful for me for very small plants, which I always seem to have a lot of very small plants, either because I've bought a young one or I've got something that I've potted up from a little cutting. Yeah, they're just, this size of pot is indispensable to me, and the colours I thought would be fun, especially in my little girl's room, as she loves these colours. Yeah, so, and they're not too expensive. These are $1.99 each. They are by Elho, or Elho, however you say it. Yeah, so that's those. Okay, now plants wise, what to show you first. So you saw in the video that they have a really good selection of carnivorous plants, and they have been on my list, and I did not expect to find them anywhere soon. I looked online and the large plants are quite a good price really, as in it's a lot of money for one plant for me at the moment, but I found some small-ish versions of them. So yeah, let's show you this amazing, lovely thing. So this one is called a Serracenia leucophila hybrid. This one was $9.99. I don't know if that's a good price for this plant, but I have seen it more expensively elsewhere, admittedly a lot bigger, but I think this is a really nice sized plant. I just think it's beautiful. I love how upright it is, and these big tubes with the little lids. The veining is amazing. The colours are lovely, and I feel like they're quite comical. They look like these big open mouths. Like, I don't know if anyone else agrees, but to me they look like a little choir of singing frogs. And they just look really jolly and yet somehow quite regal at the same time. So yeah, I'm excited about all the new growth in this one. There's lots of little new tubes coming up, so it looks really promising. I have a pot that is going to be ideal for it. My son is very excited because he's just absolutely really interested in carnivorous plants, and this was something we were talking about recently. So he was really delighted when he saw this come home with me. So I need to learn more about carnivorous plants. I don't really know what conditions they like. So yeah, gonna start checking into that in a minute. But yeah, isn't it gorgeous? Okay, and I did buy another carnivorous plant as well. So this one is a Nepenthes alata. Is that how you say it? So I think other people might know this as monkey jars. Is that correct? This one has 3 good, healthy, new jars on it, and it's got a few little shrivelly brown ones, and I need to know whether these are meant to come off. Most things, you know, as they finish flowering, I would just trim them off, but I haven't done that yet because I just want to make sure that the plant is happy with that. This one was $8.99 for a medium plant. It shows a lot of promise. This one here is just coming out. These two, actually these 3 big leaves all have on the tips. I'll just see if I can show you. Okay, I will insert a close-up of the tips of these leaves because they're quite dainty, but it basically, they have the actual jar forming at the tip of each leaf as it first opens. So this one that's uncurling here, I can already see it has a little miniature monkey jar forming, well, already formed in fact, so that's just going to grow and inflate. So yeah, there's 3 good leaves, 4 including the unfurling one, and this is going to be rather lovely, perhaps hanging up under my son's bed. I think it would be quite nice as a hanging plant because of the jars. I don't really want them to like touch down on a surface. I think it'd be nice to make sure that they're suspended nicely. So yeah, this is really cool. I don't know if any of you have ever watched The Private Life of Plants, but there are some good sections which you can enjoy watching on there about carnivorous plants, and watching them grow and watching what wildlife happens to befall them, what wildlife happens to come along and encounter them, and yeah, a bit dramatic at times. Next I have a little peperonia. This one was $2.99 in a tiny pot, and it's called Peperomia Fire Sparks. Oh, taco plant is another name for it because of the shape of its little leafy bits. They look like bright green pasties. There were only 2 of these left actually, and Rosanna and I both brought one home. We just think they're really cute and fun. So I'm going to find out a bit more about that one. But yeah, it's really nice to have another different peperomia in my collection because I've always loved peperomia, and it's really nice to sort of be branching out and trying a few different ones. Okay. Oh, now I have a tiny little calathea. I need to research exactly which one this is because I don't know. And I don't know how big it will get, but at the moment it's just adorable. I love tiny baby plants, possibly more than anything else. Although big plants are really exciting and dramatic and like, wow. I don't know, maybe it's because I like tiny pots, or maybe it's because you can fit more of them in a space. I don't really know, but I just know I love tiny plants and tiny things in general. Yeah, I love calathea. I love leaves like this with this kind of patterning, the sort of chevrons, and the 2 tones of green. It's looking really healthy and lovely. There's a little leaf spike unfurling here, so it's all looking really nice. This one was $3.99. I think they had a few different little baby calatheas. They did have one that was like a dark purpley reddish one, which was very tempting, but I had to draw the line somewhere. So yeah, love that one. Then I have a little syngonium. This is a syngonium pink splash. Again, a little mini one. This was actually $7.99, and I wouldn't normally pay that much for a little plant, but it's kind of special. I really love it, and I'm keen to have more syngonium because it's only a recent acquisition for me to have any syngoniums, and I just think they're beautiful. They really appeal to me with their leaf shapes and their whole plant structure. Actually, I really like the way they branch out. And I like the way that they're quite densely populated, maybe compared to some alocasia, although alocasia are gorgeous and I always ogre at them. In my house, it's hard to fit alocasia on any of my surfaces. My windowsills are quite shallow from back to front, and I don't have a lot of floor space, especially with small people running around. It does limit where I can put anything that sort of branches out quite wide. I do have one big alocasia in my bedroom, and yeah, it's been difficult to find a sensible corner for it. Anyway, back to this little one. I love the pinky splashes. There is a lovely healthy looking leaf just unfurling in there. I'll put a close up of it in a minute. But yeah, it's rather lovely. I don't have a lot else to say, I just like it, and I hope it'll be really happy here. Okay, next I have a little marble queen. I already have a marble queen, but in my opinion you can't have too many of this type of thing because they're just really, really gorgeous, fairly fast growing, fairly simple to keep, and yeah, just the perfect thing to have dangling off a shelf or off a corner of something. Or whoa, okay, that whole section has just flopped out. It looks okay though. I think it's just lost a bit of soil along the way, not in here but just maybe in transit. I'm just gonna top that up with soil later, but it's fine, it's not damaged. What was I saying? Yeah, they're just a lovely plant to have. I really love the kind of pale mottling and the leaf shape, and I just feel like with this kind of plant it's really nice to have plenty of this type of thing around the house. They're a really good sort of background traily loveliness, and it's lovely having something so pale in amongst the brighter or darker green. Next I have a little Ceropegia woodii, a string of hearts. It's a little cute baby one. This one was £2.99. It'll be nice to just get this out of its cone of shame in a minute and let it dangle. Yeah, this is quite a little one. I've had one of these in the past, which was much bigger, and it was doing really well for a bit. I think I might have overwatered it, and when we had our second baby, I think I did do a bit of overwatering, which is a bit silly because the whole reason I was doing that was to try not to neglect the plants, because I thought, oh, I must give them attention even though I'm really busy and tired with little people. But yeah, I think I went too far and ended up giving plants water too often just so that I wasn't neglecting them, but I wasn't actually looking carefully enough at the soil, and I hadn't been into houseplants for very long back then either, so I didn't really know anything about root rot. So anyway, this is a fresh start with a new one, and find a nice place for it, and hopefully it will settle down happily and yeah, add to my lovely trailing collection. I'm just keen to have a lot more trailing plants right now because our surfaces have got quite full and definitely need some height and dangliness. Okay, so I have 2 left, and they're both rather exciting because I've never tried either of them before, and they're both to go in my large terrarium, my first terrarium that I'm going to do soon. So this one, it says Asplenium crispy, or Asplenium crispy wave, and it was £3.99. It's a little plant, and it just seemed like the perfect thing to pop in a terrarium. It's got some nice new growth in there, little cute unfurling bits. It's a really shiny fern. Actually, is it even a fern? I'm assuming it's a type of fern. I will do some research and check into what it needs, and make sure that it will be happy in the terrarium before I put it in there. If any of you have any comments on popping something like this into a terrarium, then let me know if you've tried it or what you think would happen. Yeah, it's really fleshy. It's a lovely pale bright green, and yeah, pretty cute. Okay, last one is this little jewel orchid. I've never had a jewel orchid before. This one says Macodes petola. It's got quite a dark leaf with some nice veining, obviously. I have seen a lot of people with jewel orchids and admired them, but this is actually the first one I've seen for sale in a shop, and I decided to snap it up. They didn't have many left. I think this was one of 2 left. It's got some nice new growth coming here. It was £9.99, and I was excited to try this in the terrarium too. And I hope it'll be really happy in there. I'm getting really excited about doing this terrarium because I've never done one before, and I've got this big glass jar from the tip, which was like less than £1. It's quite big, very tall. It's a nice thin glass. It's gonna be really nice. So yeah, I've gathered all the ingredients so I can get on with that soon. And oh, we've been gathering moss for it too, which has been fun. Anyway, back to this. So yeah, excited to pop this in soon, and hopefully I'll be really happy. So that's everything that I brought home, and they're all just very gorgeous. I'm delighted with all of them. Rosanna and I were sitting in the cafe afterwards, which was very, very lovely, and yeah, I was asking her what her favourite was, and she said she couldn't possibly choose because they were all so lovely, and I quite agree. Yeah, I'm really happy with all these choices and the prices that they were, and they all look really, really healthy. I did just make a silly mistake when I was showing my son earlier. I went to go and put this one back in the bag, and it completely just slipped out of my hands, just plummeted down into the bag, and I thought, oh no, what if it's like smashed through into the other plants? And it didn't, and at the time I thought it was okay as well, but it kind of ripped itself here as it landed. So yeah, a big chunk of it just came off. So that was a bit of a shame, but sometimes I'm just clumsy. I don't have a lot of grip on my fingertips at all. So that kind of thing does happen sometimes. Anyway, it's not gonna harm the plant long term. It's just visually a bit blah. Yeah, so I am now going to find some pots for these beauties and start. I'll give them a spray of some horticultural soap, which I usually do when new plants come home, and gonna start arranging them around the house, and they can start start their new life here. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye!